Hello, I'm Oliver Dixon from Doncaster Music Service, and this is the first in a series of videos introducing the Grade 2 ABRSM cello syllabus. This video focuses on one of the A pieces, Come Ye Sons of Art. Now this is the Henry Purcell tune, which means it is from the Baroque period. So in terms of classical music, it is actually quite old. Now he wrote this as part of a larger work of 9 movements, for Queen Mary II's birthday in 1694. Now obviously I really recommend that you listen to the whole thing, but we're concerned with the ritornello, which means the movement that returns, and we hear it several times. I'm going to play it to you, and while I do, I'd like you to think about the time signature, so how many beats there are per bar, and about the mood. Great. What did you think to that then? Well, in terms of the time signature, it's in quite a strong 3/4, 3 beats in a bar. You can hear that 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, the emphasis on the first beat. And in terms of mood, well, describing words I can think of are lively and actually triumphant. Now if we go to the text of this piece, because of course when it's performed fully, there are singers as well, some of the words are tune all your voices and instruments play to celebrate this triumphant day. So actually it does say triumphant in the text because, of course, they're celebrating Queen Mary's birthday. How to start learning the piece then? Well, we've spoken about the time signature, so now let's have a look at the key signature. We've got 2 sharps and the piece seems to be in D major. Now, just a quick glance at the piece and you'll spot lots of staccato markings. They're all over the place. Those are the little dots above the notes. And of course that means to play with a short detached bow stroke. So coming back to the scale, you've not got to learn a D major scale for the Grade 2 exam, but you do need to learn a G major scale, and it's a really similar finger pattern. So let's play the G major scale to get your fingers warmed up, and then we'll play it again staccato. You'll see why I mentioned that now. So I'll say the letter names as we go up, and let's only do 1 octave for now. So we've got G, A, So let's do that staccato now. So think really short, detached, crisp bow strokes. And we're going to really overdo it. Just to get you started then, as I always do, let's just go over the first line. So I'll talk you through the notes. We've got a D. We've got an A on the G string, first finger. Then back up to an F sharp, third finger on the G string. Then we've got E to open D, E, F sharp again, third finger, E, open A, back down to E, first finger on the D string, 1, 3, G, fourth finger, 3, 4, 3, 1, E, open D. And of course if you need to pause that and rewind it, go over it again, that's fine. And actually that's the first 4 bars, but the following 4 bars on the second line are actually the same thing again. So you can play 2 lines now pretty much. Let's firm up the rhythm then. So we've got lots of crotchets and lots of quavers in this piece, and the way I always recommend to count this is by using the word and. So I'll demonstrate. On the first line, counting the rhythm, I would go 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. And of course you can apply that method throughout the whole piece. Let's clap that now. So from the start, I'll give you a bar in. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Great, so that's your rhythm. Now, what you need to remember also in places is to count your dotted rhythms. So we've got dotted rhythms in bar 15, we've got one in 23, and the second to last bar. So to count these, you want to think 1 and 2, 3 and. And what's really important is you get that last quaver of the bar on the last, just sneak that in there at the end of the bar. So 1 and 2, 3 and. And then that leads into the next bar. So the last 2 bars, for example, would be 1 and 2, 3 and 1. There's lots to say about the bowing in this piece as well, especially with Baroque music. All the artistry is in the bow. We don't do any of this. We don't do any of that with Baroque music. It's all very much in the bow, and that means we need to get the bow directions right. So some points to note are, for example, in the first bar we've got 2 up bows, and you see on the 3rd note we've got an up bow march, so we go down, up, up. And then bow it out, follow the slurs. Same thing on the second line, down, up, up. Then bow it out. We've also got some down bows marked in places, such as bar 15, 16, 17. Try to always get a down bow on a down beat, a fresh start. Down bow is the stronger bow. And follow that through. And of course, in quite a few places, we have actually got a mixture of slurs and staccato notes. For example, bar 11 or 19. So that requires some really careful practice. And one last thing to note is that at the very end, we actually got a rit. So a nice slowing up at the end there in the last second to last bar into the end, just as I did when I played it to you earlier. Practice methods for this piece then. Well, as with anything, start slowly, break it down, learn it in chunks, practice individual bars, just play the finger in one time and pizzicato it, and practice the bowing on its own. So maybe just practice staccato on open strings or with the scale, and do a mixture of bowing there, and gradually piece it together and be as musical as you can with it. Follow the dynamics. You'll notice when you listen to me play it that I started mezzo forte, I went quieter, mezzo piano in bar 5. Actually, you could hardly hear me in bar 5, and then we're louder again in bars 17, and then again for the ending. Right, so I hope that's helped you get started with Come Ye Sons of Art and given you some tips.